Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. I'm Angel,
I'm Adan.
and we'll be doing series reviews on Cowboy Bebop. All right. Are you gonna be eating and drinking all the whole episode?
Only on
Or
the good parts.
all right. So now live action version of Cowboy Bebop, and wow, wow. Let's talk about on the live action version of Cowboy Bebop airing right now on Netflix. Did you finish it?
Honestly, no. I got to episode 9. So I'm
Mhm.
like middle of episode 9. So I'm an episode and a half away from finishing.
Same here. I'm around, I think, episode 8. I like this series, but then again, I don't like this series in the aspect that it feels long. And they are long in comparison to the original. Because after episode 1, I immediately went and watched the anime episode 1. And pretty much well, they were the same episode, but the anime version was a half hour long, where this was an hour long.
I remember that because for those of us like my age and my brother's age, when Cowboy Bebop first came out to the U.S. market, it was pretty much on Cartoon Network. It was hitting the U.S. market like straight running. So it was a 20 some minute long show, 30 minutes if you include commercials. So it was a fairly short, and it was like a bounty of the week. You watch an episode, you get a new bounty, and it wasn't really known for like having this intricate storyline until you get several episodes in and they start building a storyline. Here, the difference absolutely is the time, but they started pretty early on trying to build like an underlying story in the background. Kind of worked and didn't work at the same time. Like you said, there was pros and cons to it, and that's where. And by the way, people, we're probably gonna have some spoilers in this. We're talking
Oh,
about a
yeah.
whole series. There's gonna be some spoilers, especially if you haven't watched it, the cartoon, and you've yet to watch the show. I would say watch the show, at least the live action first. It's gonna be faster than watching the cartoon because the cartoon series was like,
25 episodes.
and then there was a
But
movie.
and a half, they're half hours, so 25. So you most likely will get the series done or get the idea of the series with the live action version. Granted, I was more entertained with the anime style.
Oh yeah,
I was, and of course, since they're shorter, the episodes had to be tighter. The action and the pace was a little faster. Regardless, I like the live action version because they honored the original source so much.
I would
With the
say so.
opening
There was so
credits,
much to it.
yeah, the opening credits was almost exactly like the anime opening credits.
Let's talk about that. Right there
Hmm.
is almost a shot for shot of the opening credits in a lot of ways. The only difference is
Hmm.
they're using scenes from what's going to happen throughout the entire series, which anime does that. I see those scenes. That's probably going to be in the show, and they recap all that. But the music
Right.
score,
Mm. Oh no, the music score is awesome. It's like while I was watching the live action version, I was like, oh my god, they got this down to almost every nook and cranny in that aspect. They got the dressing, the hairstyle, the clothing, the look, all that stuff was taken exactly from the anime series, which was awesome. Now, I do have some problems, and I understand what they're doing because they're doing just like how they did in anime, the fighting. The fighting I
hmm
felt a little too slow, where in the anime it felt really crisp and clean. Granted, it wasn't so intricate, but it had a flow to it. I don't know if it's because the actors are older, they can't keep up, and I don't think they want to use stunt doubles as much because
yeah.
it looked like everyone was
And
done.
Netflix is known for not having the best fight scenes in all their products.
Iron Fist. John Cho playing the lead.
Worked.
Spike, he worked amazingly. You have Mustafa Shakir. He was awesome as Jet. Awesome. Now, granted, in the in the anime version, is a white guy, but they made him black here, and his look pretty much matches the
Yeah.
anime style.
Jet
Just yeah,
Jet does kind of look blackish. He's a white guy for sure, but he does kind of have black like skin tone a little
yeah,
bit. In the cartoon I'm talking about.
he has black skin tone.
He's dark. He looked like he'd been tanning for a while.
No, I just saw the series. I don't know. I mean, I
I'm
looked at.
going
It,
by
I
memory.
was paying
I
attention.
haven't watched the cartoon
Okay.
series since I was like a teenager.
Well, what that was good about, since both the anime and the live action is on Netflix, so you can go back and do a comparison. Again, they took some,
Liberties.
yeah, liberties here and there.
I heard one of the biggest things that people had issues with was that Faye's outfit wasn't true to how it was in the cartoon, namely the
It she
shorts.
well, she right, but she did at one time look exact. I thought she had an anime. She had like some kind of like headband.
I think that was Ed.
Ed had the goggles, but I liked how the pace is going. I just wish it was not an hour long. I just wish they did a better job editing and making it tighter, the pace, just in my opinion.
Well, and
And
and that's where I was thinking like the whole Vicious storyline, the backstory, what was happening with Julia and Vicious.
yeah, I
That
think
is, I think that's why they're like somewhere down the line, someone probably in the producer line said, we can't be a half hour. We can't be just like the cartoon. We have to be like closer to an hour. This storyline happens here. Let's fill this up because they're juggling back and forth. And that wasn't in the cartoon.
no, right. They had someone in the cartoon, but yeah, it wasn't as detailed or focused. I
Hmm.
mean, they could have cut 15 minutes out of each episode, made it 45. Have
Agreed.
have a happy in between in the aspect of the martial arts, the action. In the anime, he is more of a kicker.
True.
Here, he does Wing Chun, or Wing Chun is one of his arsenal in fighting. You see him,
Hmm.
he practices the Wing Chun dummy, doing some other things here and there. So you see where that comes from, where they made it a little bit different. I was excited to see how they would have done the action part in the sense of fighting, and I was just a little bit disappointed. But also, I did appreciate it was again, I could see what they were doing, and I appreciate that
Kind of reminded me of those
aspect of it.
the 1970s martial art films, like how they were like hit by the numbers, like boom, 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 and then like because you see even when he's doing like the Wing Chun, he's going like boom, 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 doing the quick hands, but they're like not as quick as he could, and they would be like kind of going with it, especially when he's fighting the guy for the dogs, which
Shoot,
I thought that was a great fight scene.
but in the anime, it's different. There is no face changing.
True.
It's just Hakim the only way. There's no black and white. It's just and granted, you had the feel of the '70s because they're dressing. A lot of them, especially Hakim, and when he was black, or even when he was white in the '70s, like Flower Child kind of thing. They had that look, just like the anime,
Yeah, there was
old
not like
and
a
new.
clear, distinct, like this is the decade, and that was the cool thing about the anime. And you're right, it did translate pretty well here because there's aspects of the '80s, '70s, maybe even a little bit of the '90s. And when you look at
And
Jet's
the future.
character, like the '50s or '60s, all tied together because he's like when they do his flashback, he's noir, but it's all tied together, set in the future, and there's plenty of scenes that if you didn't see like a spaceship fly around, you're like, I couldn't tell which decade I'm in, which is actually really cool. And I like the surprise castings I would see.
Oh, I know. I was like, they got her for this. They got him for this role. I was like, okay. I was very appreciate that. I mean, I just like the chemistry with Spike and Jet was real good, and with Jay coming in.
I
I
mean,
don't
Faye.
know Faye. Sorry, I said Jay. Faye. Excuse me. Faye. When she was coming, I liked her. I like her persona. I like her rendition.
Interpretation.
Interpretation. Thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah. I like how she was done
I agree.
because
She grew on me more than I thought she would.
well, it's like a balance because you have the level head, which was Jet. You have Fly at Your Pants from Spike, and he's dealing with his demons, and that,
True.
that comes with Vicious. And you have her coming in just trying to, I guess, prove herself being a woman in the man's world.
Well, that and without a past.
Right. Well, as of now. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I just wish the episodes were tighter, especially compared to our next review of Hitmonkey. I'm interested in seeing where this would go. I still haven't finished completing. I'm like 8, 9 episodes in, but what's happening is good.
I don't disagree with that. And it was funny because before I started watching it, one of my good friends had actually watched it first because they knew I was like a big anime fan. So they're like, "Have you watched it?" And they got really excited. And I'm like, "No, I haven't gotten to it yet." And they're like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "So you love it?" And they're like, "I don't know." They had the same
No,
responses. They'd never seen the
yeah,
cartoon and they were conflicted. And they're like, you know what? Is like, I would honestly watch a season two. So you would like it then. She's like, I'm leaning to yes because of the fact it intrigued her. Like it, but there was flaws. So overall, the show and where I'm at right now, I haven't finished it. From where I'm at this stage, I would say it's a good show. It is flawed. If they say we have a season two or we got more episodes, I would watch it. By this stage, I'm getting invested and I'm agreeing 100% with my brother. If they cleaned it up a bit, maybe we tweaked some stuff. I think what they were taking from the anime, beautiful. Is a
mm-hmm.
true tribute show. Just refine some of the stuff that you're doing. This is actually one of the best best adaptations of an anime I have seen to date. I can count on my one hand ones that I would think are good adaptations.
From an anime to a live action, yes. Now, granted, there are plenty out there, but a lot of them are movie form, not episodic. I know there's a live action version of Full Metal Alchemist. I haven't had a chance to watch it.
I haven't
I
either.
know there's other, I know that I think there's several other ones out there as
There's
well.
Death Note.
I don't know how you would know about that more than I would in the sense of Death Note.
Oh, they're
I
both
like that
horrible.
series too. They're both horrible. Okay, well
One's
there you
like
go.
voiced by William Dafoe, and everybody's like, "That was the highlight," and it was still bad.
Was what he was the monster.
Yeah, he was the Shinigami.
He was perfect because he looks like him.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody
So
says it's perfect, and then everything else was just poor.
yeah, I would definitely watch the second season. I like the chemistry going there. I like the style of it. Appreciate some of the comedy they try to do there. If they brushed up on the action, that would be nice too.
Agreed.
Just a little bit. And I do have a problem because you can see that John Cho is not really a martial artist. The way he poses, I have a problem with that. When you act like a fighter and you pose, and it says, and that says no.
Yeah.
Same thing. The person who does that too was
We're gonna quote
I
Iron
think it's
Fist again
oh no
because he definitely
no
didn't.
no the one from Agents of Shield and Boba Fett and Mulan. I can't remember her name right now. It's escaping me.
The Cavalry, like we fanboy over her too.
Ming Na Wen.
Yeah.
Her in Agents of Shield. She's supposed to be a badass fighter, right? And then she'll pose. I'm like, no, you ruined it. The posing ruins it, especially when you pose in a way that it clearly shows you don't know how to fight.
Well, that's
You
like
have
the
no
the
training.
stereotype of the Black Widow character. Like you're always posing. It's like, what do you mean? It's like you always pose. You're such a
But her
poser.
right, but she poses when she lands. That's a little different. But we're here where she'll kick someone and she'll go into an arm pose, like her hands. But in a real life fight situation, you don't pose. You just get ready. It's a difference.
True.
You get ready for if the person gets back up or about to attack. It's a different pose when you go like a Van Damme kind of poster shot.
Oh, the Street Fighter Van Damme,
Like that. Yeah, he'll do this, or he'll go into a one hand arm, one hand up, one hand down kind of situation. And I'm sorry, I have a problem when I see that because to me, as a trained martial artist, it's a telltale sign.
That's
I just
true.
have it, but I try to overlook it and I try to go and enjoy it, and I do. So we can say that season one, even though it had flaws, Cowboy Bebop is worth watching and will be worth watching season two when it comes out.
I would say
Yes?
so. Yeah.
All right.
Especially if you haven't watched the animation, use the opportunity to watch the animation. You may want to watch the live action first, then watch the animation after, so you can get the two. But case in point, and just a side note, Cowboy Bebop is one of those cartoon shows that I try to get our godfather into watching because I've gotten him into. My brother knows. My godfather reputes cartoons. He's like, they're cartoons. But there's been a handful that I have talked him into. He's like, I take back what I said. And Cowboy Bebop animation was one of those. Now that I know that they have a live action, I could be like, hey, watch this. It's going to hit all the cues that you want. There's pretty ladies and like some action. It is set in the future, but they all use, realistic handguns. And it has jazz music playing in the background all the time, even to the action scenes. He's probably going to be like, okay.
But he'll probably it's too long. Well, he has nowhere to go, so he's not much. That's fine.
He has free time. He's retired.
I don't know how many times I can say it, but yeah, I just wish it was tighter. That's all.
We can all agree on that.
I mean, what I've done, I watched the first live action episode, and then I watched the first and second episode back to back of the anime, and then I watched the live action of the episode two. Because again,
To compare.
animation, yes, to compare, and also that since the anime episodes are a lot shorter, it's easier to watch.
Yep.
And then I can do a comparison. It's like, oh, this is what they did differently. This is what they kept the same. So that's kind of cool too. So
That does
that's what's
remind
kind
me
of
one
nice.
thing. I would have loved to see this because it was a running joke in the animation, the three old men. So there was like three old guys that are in the first episode that they're all playing like dominoes or they're just playing something. And they're like, you constantly see them as the series progresses and they're always around. They're like the running joke of the cabbage vendor in Avatar The Last Airbender. Somehow they're on a bounty and they're like someplace new and the three old guys are still there. I see them once, I'm like, I got it immediately who they were. And then I didn't see them again. I'm like, oh, that would have been a fun and running joke just to have them show up.
Exactly. Be kind of like a Stanley or like a Watcher kind of touch to it. We're good with Cowboy Bebop Netflix. So guys, let us know your thoughts on Cowboy Bebop and also make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. Until next time, will be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adan.
Love you, bro.
Love you.